there's going to be a... Are you filming me talking about this?
Folks, Lester here. And listen, we're sitting here sweating. Me, Kenny, and Ben are working, and we're sweating. And what's crazy about that is, I was telling them 2 days ago, we're draining the pipes because of a hard freeze. 2 days from now, Ben says we have freeze. Sheesh! Oh, did y'all see that?
Oh, yes.
Oh!
Stella scared her.
Stella, stop.
Oh my God.
Today, me, Kenny, and Uriel are all moving ostriches. We've had to do some pasture cleanouts, water changing and whatnot. And Carl is being quite the devil. Keep them coming, boys. Just touch them on the hind and they'll walk. Come on, ladies. Come on, girls. Come on, sweet girls. It's okay. Come on. Follow Daddy. Let's go. Come on, sweeties. Oh, yeah. Come on, Tina. Looking good, girls. Come on. Almost there. These longhorns are not familiar with these ostriches. Now, they've been sharing, they haven't shared a pasture. They've been seeing each other across the fence, so there should be nothing new as far as smells and stuff go. They've seen them, they've smelt them, but look at there. Look out, girls! I may have to let them birds back out. I don't want to take a chance on. And I probably will have to let those birds back out. Hey folks, Lester here. And it's great to see you all. Thank you for all of the sweet comments that were playing as I was waiting for you in the green room. That's what I call it. You know, whenever you start the live, I can see your comments before you can see me. And I'm sitting here watching you all, seeing what y'all are doing. Yeah, I'm like... I'm like big government, y'all. I'm sitting here watching all what y'all are doing, what y'all are saying, and all that good stuff before you ever see me. I'm kidding with you. Listen, you're being so kind. Thank you for that. I was watching Rick a little bit earlier, and by and large, you know, Rick has a tough crowd. Mr. Rick, that's a Think Like a Horse, has a very tough crowd. And I think that in general, horse people in general are a tough crowd and hard to please. And I'm not saying that in a negative way at all. I get it. Just the same way that horses carry themselves, so do many horse people. Not that it doesn't make our life any easier, I can tell you that much. But we do the best that we can. But even with Rick's crowd, I saw that there were 10 times as many supportive and positive folks who were sending their well wishes as were the few people that felt like Jami got what she deserved. Pretty much that was kind of the general consensus amongst a lot of the haters, is that Jami got just what she deserved. And you'd hate to see stuff like that. But I was really, you know, it was funny because I was kind of playing the troll. If you know what that means as far as social media. I was sitting there kind of like just watching and reading what people were saying. And it just made me feel so blessed to see people, even in the horse community, who were very supportive of Jami and myself and our endeavors trying to help with any rescue, especially those that we don't know much about. And so the reason that I played that little snippet there at the beginning of the live tonight is because, don't forget, it's not just horses that we're clueless to, guys. It's not just horses that we are trying to just find our way about. There's also ostriches, okay? And there's bulls, there's longhorns, there's just I'm a Survivor Sanctuary is not just your typical rescue and forever home. We welcome any animal that has been abused, abandoned, neglected, or you have to always include this, or some animals that are surrendered because their owners are unable to properly care for them. And so you really respect that when someone can give up an animal they love so as they don't love it to death. That's a real expression in the rescue world, is that many owners will love an animal to death, literally, without ever, because they get love goggles on and they don't realize sometimes how the animal is struggling and suffering. But and then it's too late. But we are so very blessed that Jamie is back home. And like Mr. Rick was saying tonight, it could have been so much worse. So as hard of a time as Jamie's going to have, and for as long of a time as it'll take her to get fully, back to where she was at, um, she was lucky. We were very lucky, because there's people, and the horse community would know this more than anybody. There are people that sometimes don't walk out of a stable when they've been kicked in the face or the head, or maybe even other parts of their body. There are a ton of vet professionals who've been seriously injured and even killed working with horses. And so it's easy for horse people to say, well, if you knew what you was doing, you would never happen. Or you people have no reason going in there with a horse and everything else unless it's properly trained. And I get that. And that's a horse person's mentality. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's good that you are that confident in all of that and you stand. But we will take a rescue and we'll do the best that we can. And you do live and you learn. We learn things. And then, something that really baffles me the most. And I guys, don't forget, it's the new year, 2024. And I am not going to let go of my resolution and give in to the haters. And that's not what I'm doing now. I hope that we're able to have conversations and talk, yet there's still a smile on my face and my heart is warm. I'm so happy that Jamie's back with us. Now she's not going to be on a live, obviously, for a while. Um, and then even when she starts making videos, it's very unlikely she'll be in a selfie mode very, very often. But she is home and well and recovering. And I don't think that anyone would be able to recover as quickly as you could in your own home. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy on all of us who are going to take care of her. But Jamie's a great patient. She's been a good patient today. She's actually slept a lot. And so she's going to be fine, friends. We're very confident that she's going to be fine. She will have lots of follow-ups, and then there'll be some oral surgeries that'll have to take place, and there are going to be some growing pains with everything. We are, but it's I can tell you, I'm going to tell you a funny story. I hope that I don't embarrass her when I say this, but today, sweet Stephanie, my niece-in-law, Stephanie came by. She brought some flowers, and the ladies back on Morrow Hill all pitched in and made a little gift basket. And Stephanie drove by this afternoon and dropped it off. And I don't mean to say this in a mean way, but even though we had talked and we had told everybody what had happened, without actually seeing Jamie, you still wonder, like, oh my God, so I wonder how bad it is. How does it look, And Stephanie was very happy. She told me this out along back by her truck before she left. She was just so happy that there wasn't like a chunk of Jamie's face missing. And no, I'm like, no, all of her face is there, y'all. All of her face is there. Today is day 2. And if you know much about those head type injuries, it was weird because there's a lot more swelling showing up today than what we saw yesterday. So yesterday you saw the inflammation swelling. That you know what? I said that wrong. There's bruising. I think the proper word, and I'm not reading any comments. I'm trying not to read so that I can focus. If I start reading, I start losing my focus. But I think that the swelling is still there. But I think today what we're seeing is bruising. Bruising. So bruising is when, and this is just me, the way I would define bruising, and I could be very wrong. But I think that swelling is when you can just see the inflammation. You can just see the everything that we saw yesterday where I don't know this for a fact, and maybe I'm exaggerating, but I felt like maybe her face was probably double the size that it normally is with everything just swollen. Today, we would begin to see a lot of bruising. And there were parts of her face that were bruised that I don't know how they got bruised. And so I will read all of these later. Maybe some of you guys may know this, but to be hit or kicked in the jaw and to have all of the damage around the mouth, you would expect all of this area to have the swelling and the bruising. And so, how shocked were we to see bruising? I mean, when I say I'm not exaggerating this, but bruising like all the way across, and just it was sad. But you want to hear what's worse? The doctor says expect it to get even worse before it begins to get better. And like I said, you guys may know that. I'm not going to read the comments right now. So if you're saying or asking questions of me, I promise you, I'm not going to see them. I'm not going to look at them. The comments do a couple of things. They can be encouraging, they can be supportive, they can make you feel good. Okay. They can also sometimes start, kind of like tinkering away, just kind of chipping away at your positivity and your high spirits. But they can also ask important questions, relevant questions. They can give relevant information to help you in knowing what's going on. And so that's what I'll be looking for later on. We did a fantastic job at getting the moderators going last night. And we brought back the old school moderators, y'all. We brought back the old school. We had everybody who has ever worked or been on the payroll of I'm a Survivor moderating. And there's a lot of folks who are wondering why they're not seeing anything tonight. Oh, I guess Lester didn't post any videos. No, that's not what happened. You've just been banned for life. Now, of course, those people will more than likely create new channels and they'll come back as someone completely different. And you can't stop that. But we had the moderators in full force, and we're just trying to keep the page positive, y'all. We're just trying to keep the page positive for the new year. If anybody runs you off, I would rather it be me by something that I say or something that we cannot agree on than to have other people be the ones to run you away. And that's one of the saddest things to me is when someone comments or sends me a message, usually, and it says that they're no longer going to comment because people are so mean to them. And I just don't know, but I get it. A lot of folks don't know how to disagree. I think that in the world that we live in, you can only see things either black or white, that you can't see much gray. And unfortunately, in life, there is some gray. We're not always going to see things eye to eye, and you still have to love thine enemy. And I will love my enemy. However, I will just love you from afar. I promise you, there's no anger in my heart when I click that adios button. Okay, I still love you. I'm just not going to have you on here starting all that mess. So let's just celebrate that Jamie's back home. Man, it feels good. And I was able to cook for her, and she didn't eat it. I was going to show you her plate. Darn it, she's already put it away. Yeah, I spent some time, y'all. I cooked her up a meal. Can I tell them what I cooked you? She's like, I cooked her some mashed potatoes, y'all. I don't mean an actual potato that you smash up and you mash. No. I mean the instant kind. I heated the water and I poured in the potatoes and I put some seasoning on top and I made sure that it was really runny. And I'm like, come on, babe, you have to eat. You got to build up your strength. You got to keep your strength about you. You got to eat. The doctor says you got to eat. And this is something delicious. Well, she may have had 2 bites. Which all of that work. You know how it feels to slave away in the kitchen, serve you with a happy heart, only to have you take 2 bites and push it away? Did y'all hear that? Poor baby can't talk. This is great for me. This is not great that way, y'all. This is not great that way. But what is great is she can't come running in here and like do something mean to me. No, now she could come running in here, but if I take this camera, like, I'm going to video you, I'm going to video you, I'm going to get you, I'm going to get you. Oh, she'll back away real fast. I can promise you that. But we love her so much, and she is such a sport. Today, I am working on a video to play tomorrow. You know the one, Huck and Hannah. And it goes back so long ago that this was before Jami wanted to be in videos. Yes, the Huck and Hannah video. From some of y'all will still remember that video. Some of y'all have been around that long. Huck and Hannah. And I thought I would play that because it really shows a lot of, I think the word might be progression in the development of Jami and her character. Are you hearing me? Are you watching? Oh Lord, she's watching. It really does show the development of Jami as a character of I'm a Survivor. Because as you remember in the beginning, Jami didn't want to be on camera. She didn't want to be on videos. And I would try to sometimes get her to actually video me doing whatever we were doing around the farm. And so I was working on that video a little earlier, and I was just like, and look at her, how far she's come to a woman who did not want to be on any of the videos, but slowly over time, she was just kind of a silent person behind the camera. And then at some point, she began to talk to me, still didn't want to be on camera, but she would at least talk so I could have this dialogue back and forth with this mysterious woman that no one knew. You only knew this voice of this woman who was behind the camera. And then eventually she slowly began to come out from behind the camera and let me video things with her. Usually it was when Ringo was after her. Ringo, we had fun. And I don't think it was until we probably got her Annie that she began to actually begin to be in videos. Now it was years later before. Oh yes. Let me put that up. So Vanda says back before Suits to Boots. Absolutely. I don't know how old Suits to Boots is. I think 2 years. I may be wrong, but I think Suits to Boots only goes back 2 years on Facebook and YouTube. And so Jami was, just like I said, a silent partner for I'm a Survivor for a while. Then she became kind of a vocal voice that you would sometimes hear in the videos. And then at some point she began to show herself here and there. And now look at her. Now look at her. So thank you. There's some really sweet comments coming up right now. So yeah, so tomorrow morning for my 5 o'clock video on Facebook, and then of course I'll play it on YouTube a little bit later in the afternoon. I will have the Huck and Hannah video that I took, and I'm gonna. I haven't done it yet. I'm gonna streamline it and get a little bit shorter because back in those days, friends, we were making 30 to 40-minute videos. You remember that, babe? 30 to 40-minute videos. I'm sorry. I love you all so much, but there are very few people who would ever sit still for a 30 or 40-minute video. And that's only 5 years ago. Think about how we have evolved. I don't want to say in a good way. I don't think all evolving is always positive. I would rather go back to the way it was 5 years ago. As far as the technology, here's the thing. There was no TikTok. There was no shorts. There were no reels. So if you were anyone that ever found yourself going to YouTube, then you were going to be watching a video. There was no such thing as a 15-second or a 7-second. And if there was, oh my gosh, what was that called? There was an app on your phone that you could get that it was only 7 seconds or less. Does anyone know what that was called? What was that old app called where it was only 7 seconds or less? I'm trying to see if anyone can put that up here. I forgot what that was called. Vine. It was, thank you very much. Michelle, I think was the first one to say it. It was called Vine. So Vine, if you think about it, might have been the predecessor to what's going on now with Reels, Shorts, and of course the TikTok generation. It's the pop, 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 pop. Just, you can watch so many videos in just a matter of minutes. And a lot of people are preferring to spend their phone time doing it that way instead of going back and actually watching a full length video feature that has a story to tell. And so someone says, Lester, why are you swiping right? I don't know. Is that wrong? Should it be this way over here? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I'm not trying to swipe right the way you're thinking about. I can promise you that. But yeah, but that's something else is true with the dating world and all of the swiping left or swiping right. And I don't even think that many folks my age or older know much about that. I don't think. I don't think that they would. Now they might, but of course, in the dating world, they have an app. I think it's called Tinder. Tinder. I think it's called Tinder. And I'm sorry that I'm blushing. I don't mean to blush, but I have no experience with Tinder, none whatsoever. I don't. But I know enough about it to know that it's a real fast, just do, like, or no, yet people that you would or people that you would not consider. I'm going to just say that politely. I'm just going to say consider. Even though I think in the Tinder world, it's pretty much swiping one way means let's do it, and swiping the other way, they'll never know you even saw them. The world we live in. That's what I said. Sometimes evolving is not the best thing, y'all, for a society. Think about it for a minute. I don't think. Oh, I gotta be careful. Oh, this is when the Holy Spirit says, Lester, hush it up. Hush it up, Lester. I'm like, okay, I don't know who said that, but I felt it. And yeah, I should probably just hush it up because I do not want to say anything negative, because we've actually met people who met online. Now, I don't know if that was through a Tinder quick connection, or if it was the kind that was more drawn out where you actually communicated and talked for a while before you met up. Oh, Lord, this is funny. I'm going to start blushing if I'm not careful. But anyway, so yeah, we did move some birds around. I had Kenny, Ben, Uriel. We had an entire work crew here, and we got some stuff done that needed to be done. And I appreciate their help. Now, tomorrow, Uriel and I are going to continue work over at the J. Oh, so swipe left means no, and swiping right means yep. And that comes straight from Nikki Hayes. Nikki, thank you for filling us in on that, because I had no idea. But tomorrow, Uriel and I are going to start a little demolition job at the J&L property. Don't worry, I'll make Jamie some breakfast first. I'm thinking instant oatmeal or quick grits. I'm going to take care of her, y'all. Don't worry, I'm going to take good care of her. All right. Yeah, instant oatmeal or quick grits with butter and maybe syrup. I don't know if she'll eat that or not, but she can have things that are very soft that do not require any chewing. So, oh, overnight oats. Someone says cream of wheat. Malto meal. You guys are good. And then hashtag Jamie Strong. I've seen that hashtag a lot. You know about that, babe? There's a hashtag, and it's Jamie Strong. That's sweet. Thank y'all for doing that. Cream of wheat with rice. Get that girl some protein shakes. Well, believe it or not, let me show y'all. I'm going to try to reach over here. Excuse me. Sorry to get so close. But Stephanie sent over a whole bunch of these little protein drinks. There's a lot of them. And Stephanie brought all kinds of stuff that she and the ladies from the Hill put together. My dad messaged and offered any kind of help he could do. My mom sent over some scriptures for Jamie to recite when she felt pain. Not laughing about that. That was sweet. And then we've had a lot of support. So we're very blessed for that. It feels good that you guys are allowing us to come to you with our aches and pains and all of the advice that you're offering. So thank you for that. Yes, I'm still not able to reply to messages and stuff, guys. I'm probably not going to be able to get to everything. I am pulling double duty now. I am trying to read everything that comes through on the WhatsApp or the email or the messenger or the text, but I'm not answering my phone to unknown numbers. Sorry, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or rude, but today I'll give you one example. And if to the kind lady in Canada, I'm not going to say your name, but I felt bad for how this conversation went. But we had a fella bring some hay. We're out of hay, the green hay that you have to unload by hand. And so, as me and the fellows were working, we were also waiting for the propane guy to show up. And my phone rang. It said unknown number. And I thought it might be the propane fella. So I answer it. And while all of the other guys were working around me, it was a very sweet lady who got my number and she was calling to check on Jamie. I says, ma'am, I says, it's very sweet of you to call. I said, I really appreciate it. And I'll let Jamie know. I says, but I just can't talk right now. And have y'all ever met somebody who just cannot take no for an answer? They insist that you hear them out. And I says, ma'am, I listened to her for a bit. And I says, ma'am, I really have to go. I says, I'm in the middle of a big job. And she just wanted me to hear her out, the rest of what she had to say. And so I ended up having to say, ma'am, I love you. We thank you, but I got to go. And I just kind of pressed the hang up button. So I kind of wish now I would never had answered, because it would have been easier not to have answered and she leave a voicemail than to have someone hang up on you. And so I told Jamie, I came in the house and I told him, I said, a sweet lady from Canada called, but she would not let me get off the phone and I had to hang up on her. So I felt so bad about that, y'all. But I didn't mean it in a mean way. And I'm not making light of it now by laughing about it. I'm just letting you know that I'm just not answering the phone right now, y'all. There's a lot going on and the days are long. They start very early, they end late. And so just understand that just not quite able to catch up on everything right now. So please be understanding of that. I appreciate it. But no, Jamie's good. Like I was saying earlier, she will have to be going back for several follow-ups. I think that she did see an oral surgeon earlier this morning. And so we know there'll be some, I don't even know what you call them. Can I just call them dentures? Y'all heard that, right? She says, no. Hold on. She goes, no, no, I'm not getting dentures. So I don't even know what you call them. Implants? Can someone tell me here? Implants. That's the proper word, is implants. So she will be getting some implants. So you all know. Babe, can I talk about the teeth or not? Yes? I think she says, mm-hmm. So I believe that I may get half of this wrong. I probably will get half of this wrong, but I think there will be 7 teeth for sure. 7 for sure. 7 for sure, maybe 11, right? Okay, so yes, I got the on that one. So 7 for sure, and possibly 11. Now, I don't know how many teeth we have in our mouth. I don't know how many teeth we actually have in our mouth, y'all, but that's going to be quite a bit of work. And 7 for sure, even that just sounds so painful. I can't imagine all of that. And then, but I think that they're 62, 32, 32, 32. So if you have 32, 11 is about a third of your teeth, y'all. But hey, I'm still gonna say that we're blessed that she's not dead, or she's not in the ICU, or she's not, in has any kind of permanent brain damage. Think about that for a minute, y'all. And I know it doesn't probably make Jamie feel any better to hear me in here saying, "Oh, don't worry, we're blessed. We got really lucky this time," or whatever, because she's the one who's in there, can't open her mouth, and the pain, I'm certain, is excruciating of what she's having to deal with. But I do think that we will be fine. It's going to be a while before we get back to normal. But I will say one funny thing. I think I told you all this yesterday. But one of the cutest things that my mom messaged was that think of the bright side. My mom's always been big about trying to look at the bright side of everything. And she says that if y'all had any resolutions for the new year to lose some weight, she goes, it'll happen now. It'll happen now. And I guess with the liquid diet thing, it probably will happen because it's just hard. But I I did have some rice for my dinner, and Jamie came by and she asked, could she have a bite? And I'm like, how are you going to eat rice? And so she literally was eating the rice one grain at a time, y'all, one grain at a time. And she literally picked up a grain of rice and she would eat it. And she goes, that's the best thing she's tasted in 2 days. So despite all of the drinks and everything else that she's able to get down, or that grain, those few grains of rice was her favorite thing to eat in the last 2 days. Poor baby. I feel bad for her. I do. And here talking and laughing about it. I'm not laughing at her situation at all, y'all. We're just telling you what's going on. It's a Jami update. And so at some point, what I'm hoping that she'll do, this is what I told her. At some point, what I hope that she'll do is come sit across from me. And if she doesn't want to be on the camera, fine. We can still have great conversations here, dialoguing back and forth. And then you'll be able to talk with her. And then, and that will be a good first step, I think. But yeah, lots of yogurt. So Stephanie sent over yogurts and all kinds of stuff. I was surprised. Now, some of the things that I was reading, a lot of people messaged me, people who work in trauma, especially with head trauma, and people who've actually experienced having their jaw wired shut. And there have been a lot of people who sent some information that I had no idea about, things that I never heard the doctor say, but it's just from personal experience that you can learn a lot. And so I'm sharing as much as I can with Jami, but like I said, guys, please don't hold it against me if I don't reply to you. Sometimes I'll just send a heart, a real quick emoji to let you know that I saw it, or a thumbs up that I saw it. And so I don't want you to think that I'm ignoring you. I just don't have the time that I had before. I think you understand that, and I'll leave that alone. But no, Jami's fine. She's going to be better every day. I'm sure of it. We'll have our first follow-up at some point, and we'll make sure that we talk to you about, we're going to talk you through every step of the way, because it's important that you know where we're at and what we're doing and what's going on. It's not important to have the video to show you everything. I understand that. We've come so far past that. Now I feel like we're just friends who are concerned for each other's welfare and well-being. And I love that more than anything else. It means a lot that you take time to share information instead of demanding to see this or asking to see that or wondering where this is at or where that is at. So thank you for that. So, all right. Well, and as far as how long we will have, and I say we loosely, but as far as how long Jami will have to have her mouth wired, guys, that depends on the healing. It depends on a whole lot of stuff. Bone density. Don't even get me just saying things that I don't know what I'm saying, but it could be as little as 2 weeks, which, gosh, we have our fingers crossed for that. It could be months, plural, but the doctors are hopeful that when we have the follow-up after some of the swelling has gone down, then we'll be able to have a better idea. Yeah, I've seen that. A lot of people say they had theirs off in as little as 2 weeks, and some say, well, right there was one that had theirs for 6 months. Mr. Kinney has had his jaw wired. Chris, the fire chief, has had his jaw wired, and both of them have very different stories on the healing process of all of that. So one was very short and one was extended. So I really think it might be dependent on how bad the break or the fracture might be, ultimately, of how long it has to stay. But for now, we're good. Jami is eating. She's home, drinking, I should say, more than anything else, sipping, slurping, and spilling. She spills a lot. I love you, babe. she spills a lot. And like I was saying, she hasn't got, she doesn't have total control. Because she has lost some of the sensation of the feeling. And so she doesn't always know when she's dripping. And so I feel like I am, yeah, I do that. And I love it. I wouldn't trade it for anything. You know why? Because she would do the same thing for me and she would never hesitate. She would do the exact same thing for me. And then I'll say one last thing, then I'll let you all go. I don't mean to keep you all night. And I know if I do these updates, I can't make them an hour long each time. But I was, Jamie's, because of the concussion, they want her to be very limited on how much she's using computer, phone, TV. It's because of the lighting. Now, this is all new to me, y'all. This is all new to me. But I think that the lighting that the computers, the TVs, your phone, um, illuminates is dangerous to you, or it's bad for you if you've been concussed or concussed, if you've had a concussion. And so but Jamie's also curious about what people are saying, so she's getting messages throughout the day and asking me to read them. And so as I'm sitting there reading messages to her, she's sitting there just bawling, just bawling, just allowing things to open up. And then it gets me to feeling, and I get into the feels as well. So then we're not doing anybody any good. Both of us sitting on the couch. I'm so thankful there's not some kind of camera set up in here like the Truman Show where everyone's watching us heal together, because we're both sitting there. And then the things that get us are hearing personal stories, similar stories, especially when you've seen that or you've dealt with that or helped someone through all of that. And so even in reading some of your stories, inspires us and also makes us realize how blessed we are in all of this. Once again, I go back to that, how blessed we are in all of this, because there's a lot of folks who have had to undergo a whole lot worse. And sometimes those come from the hand of a partner, which are the most heartbreaking. Though that, I will say by far, it's one thing when you've been injured in an automobile accident, or if you were injured by an animal. We've read several of each, but the saddest ones to me are when usually a sweet woman, lady, has been handed that by a partner, meaning a spouse usually, and that is the hardest ones to read. But Jamie and I have, we appreciate you loving us and thinking about us and keeping us in everything. And and I want to just also clear up one last thing that's important that you understand, because a lot of people don't get it. Um, you do know that when you watch a video, that many times that video could be recorded a day or two earlier. The videos are normally recorded prior to publishing for you all to see. And we record videos and they're on our phones, and that gives us time to go by and edit and, take some things out that we don't need. If we have any, slips of the tongue or anything, we can edit our videos and then polish them to give you a better published piece. Sometimes I'll add music to mine. We do different things, and so that takes time to do. So it's very likely the video that you see on any given day was not recorded that exact same day. Now, if you're watching the live and it's actually live, not a replay of the live, then it's happening in real time. So as of right now, this is happening right now as we speak. My time is 8:54. For some of y'all, it's 9:54. For some, it's 7:54, 6:54, depending on where you live. But it's alive, so this is real time. But any other time that you see an actual video or you see a replay of a live means it could have happened at some time earlier. And the reason I bring that up is because Jamie's, I think she still has videos that she made before the accident that will continue to play during her normal time slot. But just don't think, oh, Jamie's fine. She's back to making videos. Everything's good. And because these videos have been recorded before the incident. Okay. I think that most of y'all know that. A lot of times someone will say, oh, I'm glad to have you back, Jamie, and whatever. And then people are reminding her or reminding them that this was recorded before. Oh my gosh. Who is that watching from the UK? I don't know why I want to highlight and talk about this, but this is just so powerful that there's people that are overseas watching this live right now when they should be in bed. When they should be in bed. I couldn't catch it. I'm sorry. It went way too fast. That's one thing that I told Steph that I am not. I am way out of charted territory. Right now, we're at 15,000 people on this live, y'all. Now, listen to how crazy that is. Normally, we feel lucky and blessed. Blessed is our word, not lucky. We don't believe in luck here. We believe in blessings. We feel blessed if we can, grab 2 or 3, 4,000, maybe 5,000 on a big event. And then last night to have 24,000 people watching. And I'm like, Jami, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I wish I would not have looked at that number. I wish I would have never seen it, because it's just mind blowing to know that I'm talking to that many people, because I'm not that kind of guy to talk to that many people. And then I was like, please don't cry, Lester. Don't you cry, Lester. Don't you mess anything up here. You better sit up straight and tall, suck your tummy in, stick your chest out. I'm trying to just be so like, I don't know. I just like can't handle that. But we're very blessed, y'all, that you have an interest in what's going on with Jami, that you've come here to support her and to love her. And it means a lot to us. So if I don't have a chance to tell you personally through your messages, your emails, your letters and whatnot, just know that we are so blessed to have you. I could not ask for a better, a closer, a social media family than what God has given us with all of you. I really do mean that. And I'm trying to look you in the eye. I'm like, where's my kid there? I really do mean that, y'all. It means so much, because I can't say that I don't know if I've ever felt so much support ever. And this feels really, really good. And it feels great for Jami. And I know that this will aid her so much in her healing process and getting through all of this. So we love you as a family member. And thank you so very much for loving us. We don't deserve it. We say it all the time that we don't deserve the blessing of you and your company, but you're always there. And we certainly appreciate that. And please, I just want to clarify one last thing. I'm not at all saying that you are not allowed to disagree with us, y'all. I'm not saying that. You're more than welcome to disagree with us, but we only ask that you don't do it in a way to incite anger or incite hostilities towards other people, because people have to learn how to talk and communicate, even if they disagree, but still communicate. Have you ever had a partner, a spouse, or a loved one, and you lose the power to communicate? And then this is my opinion, but I think that whenever you lose the power to communicate effectively, I think that all hope is lost. I will say that, and I believe that in all of my being. If you ever lose the power to communicate with a son or a daughter, a mom or a dad, a church member, or a coworker, a boss, if you ever lose that ability to communicate effectively, then seriously, all hope at that point is lost. And so we really are going to try on our end to be a whole lot more effective in how we communicate with you all. Allow grace the same way you've been gracious with us. Allow grace, to know that everyone has a bad day, and maybe today was just something caught you off guard. Maybe something caught you by surprise and threw you for a loop. And we'll be gracious, absolutely. But we only have to draw the line whenever there's someone who's just being downright mean, hateful, or or looking to incite anger with other people. And that's where we really can't have it. We don't really have community guidelines the way Facebook and YouTube do, but we're a family here, and we just have to be respectful of that. So I don't know if that made any sense to anybody. It probably made no sense to you all whatsoever, but it made sense to me. And so I'm going to end my live right there, because in my mind, that made perfect sense. So end on a high note, Lester. So Thank you all so very much. I hope you have a wonderful evening, whatever you have left of it. For you folks who are watching where it's 02 whatever a.m., gosh, go to bed, y'all. Go to bed. And I hope you didn't stay up just to wait for this live. That would break my heart for you if I knew you were waiting up just for this. So, okay. I just can't hang up. I cannot hang up the phone. I'm like that guy. Remember that one guy that you used to talk to back in the old days who just would not hang up? And he's like, no, you hang up first. No, you got to hang up first. No, no, you hang up first. I feel like I'm that guy right now. Are you hearing this, babe? I feel like I'm that guy right now. Like, no, I'm not going to hang up. I'll never hang up on you. You're going to have to hang up on me. And I just can't hang up. But I wasn't trying to do a Texas goodbye. Thank you very much. But it is late. It's 9 o'clock here, 10 o'clock for many of you all, or it's even later for those overseas. So let everyone have a good night's rest. Thank you. Knowing that Jamie's home, you should be able to sleep a little bit more peaceful, knowing that she's going to be fine and that there's no way she'll get as good of rest anywhere else than she will here in her own home. And I will do better than grits and malto meal, okay? Or cream potatoes out of a box. All right. I'll figure out some other things I can make for her that she will like. But I will say one thing we're not going to do. One thing we will not do, and y'all can stop suggesting this. We are not going to go buy her favorite meal at Olive Garden or wherever she may want to eat and come home and blend it all together. We are not going to do that. That is where we draw the line, y'all. We will draw the line there. We're not going to blend it. We're not going to blend it. No, we will eat soups. We will drink soups. We will do whatever. We will do Jello through our teeth if you have to. But we are not going to go take an actual meal and they all call that puree and blend it all together and make it soupy. No, we're not doing that. No, I don't care if it tastes the same. We're not doing that. You never know. And we're not eating baby food. You're not eating any baby food, right? Because Stephanie brought baby food too. Stephanie, we love you for bringing all that stuff over here and for you and the ladies for doing that for Jamie. But we're not going to eat the baby food. I'm just saying. So, all right, y'all. I love you so much. And thank you for watching. And we will see y'all tomorrow. I promise. Okay. All right. Good night.